Hello tankers and welcome to this episode of Replay Roundup. Today I am joined by the one, the only, the enigma that is Mr. Keyhand. How are you doing today, buddy?
Well, thanks for the introduction. I'm doing mighty fine because I know we're about to see some hefty gameplay here. You can already see it in our background. It's going to be gameplay by the Rinoceronte. What do you think about that tank?
Oh man, I love the tank. I know it doesn't get a lot of love by the community a lot of the times, but honestly, the clip that tank gets is powerful, especially if you know how to manage it. And I think in one of our dry runs for recording this, you did mention it only has a weak spot on the turret, which is the little horn at the top. I like the little reference you made to it being a rhino. So without any further ado, let's get into the gameplay, shall we?
Let's head over there and see that we are spawning on Malinovka here, not the typical map on which rhinos normally perform super well simply because Malinovka is ever so open. Also take note, this is Encounter. So our hero here, Wartrip from the clan RGT, is going to make his way up towards that very, very important position on the hill. He's going to right towards that windmill.
Indeed, he's not the only one going either. We see a battle stuff going straight up for the bushes in that top position. We'll see how well he lasts there. But again, the windmill on Malinovka, honestly, I think this is a really, really potent position on this map. If you don't take this position, I feel like a lot of times your team is going to lose the north. And of course, how you play the hill also matters. If you have gun depression, you can play the top side, or you can play slightly more to the left of the windmill and use your gun depression. If you don't, then you want to be side scraping off of that windmill because you're also RT safe. Fortunately, our tanker here doesn't have to worry about artillery, but what he's going to have to worry about is a lot of heavy tanks coming this way since it is Encounter and everyone's going to be coming for the hill.
Yeah, his team currently down 3,000 HP already, not only because the enemy's team started with more HP, but also because their Yagaru has already taken a lot of punishment. Lucky for our hero here, the T-57 does not connect the AP into the hull here, so no damage taken yet, but 500 damage dealt already, and he's about to reload his second shot once more here, and does connect in the Super Conk. Spicy fire.
That is indeed a spicy fire. Nice barbecue going on in that Super Conqueror right now, and that's a free 1,500 damage for our tanker here, potentially. Now, again, using his clip perfectly as well, might I say. He's never firing that third shell. He's holding on to it. I assume we may see scenarios where he does decide to use it when, you know, one-shot enemy tanks get overly aggressive or whatever. But for now, he's making perfect usage out of that clip, and he's holding his shots. But he's also noticing that the tide of the battle on the north here isn't going in his favor, and he knows holding this area while that projectile's on 63 HP isn't the strongest idea, as these tanks here that are winning the lower side here of the hill are going to just start peeking from behind. So he's decided to make the smart play of backing off and retreating before he gets overrun into a position where he can continue to defend and contest against the hill if the enemies take it and decide to start pushing down. He does take a punishment from the I-7 there as he leaves, but now he's relatively safe with all his teammates, and he's got a full clip loaded as well, ready to engage the tanks that come down off the hill.
Also, nice position that he chooses to take there. First of all, a superb reassessment of the situation that he has to go down because he wouldn't be able to stand a chance there at the top of the hill. Now he's supporting his TDs there against the IS-7, doing another two nice shots and smartly not going for that third shot, because the first and the second one, they're sort of fine regarding the reload, but the third one is where it really gets crazy brutal. And looking for a shot here on the WZ, but I think he hit the upper plate there, or some spaced armor at the side, unable to penetrate that one. Eyeing for the Super Conk, but obviously he's still on reload here. He doesn't even have the second shot loaded, so I do agree with his decision to not take the shots here.
Indeed. Now, the one big thing about the Italian heavy tanks compared to the Italian medium tanks with the auto-reloading mechanism is that these guys get compensation mechanics. So if you accidentally misclick a bit too early, or, you know, if you're a little hesitant to fire and you decide to pull the trigger because you don't want an enemy to overpeak and punish you, and you want to, you know, make them respect your authority, it has a nice sort of compensation mechanic where the closer you are to reloading, the less reload you actually have on the next shell, since you accidentally fire slightly early. And I wonder if this guy actually makes use of that mechanic when firing the second shell. We'll find out in a moment, I guess.
Nice hit
but
there.
Honestly, this gun, yeah, that's a really good shot. This gun is so potent. People sleep on this tank, as I'd say, quite a lot. They underestimate its capability, but if you let that gun do work, you have to respect it. for its alpha damage.
Yeah, especially if you dip 3 shells deep into the clip, which you sometimes have to and sometimes should do, because yeah, that is basically 1500 alpha of burst damage that you're able to dish out there if you need it. And now the battle's sort of shifted here. A lot of dead tanks here currently, and yeah, 600 HP up. Obviously he has not seen the HP of the Leopard in the western part of the map, but he does seem to decide here that he can go up the hill again, because if you take a look there, it's only a Progetto, it's only an E4 holding the top side. Currently both of those tanks are not very good at hull down, and look who's spotted in the middle. It's the stage 2.
Yep, it is the stage 2, and it looks like using the full clip, it looked like he was going to go for the 3rd shot, but the teammates managed to take the FE out, and I think that's a tiny bit of, hello, Mr. FE, take a tiny bit of your own medicine here, as he puts 2 shots in for a solid 1000 damage, and someone picks up the kill right at the end. I believe it was the pattern. But yeah, like we were mentioning, he's realized he can contest the hill again. There's not many tanks left here. The tanks that are on the low side that could potentially peek and shoot him from the side is a 1-shot. It's only a 780, and the 780 is starting to climb up. The Progetto's gone around, and our hero is going to have his shell almost loaded, meaning that compensation mechanic comes into play there, and it does. He manages to reload the 2nd shell, puts 2 in, puts a 3rd in, and now he starts taking damage from the other Progetto in the middle, but fortunately this pattern picks up the kill on the Progetto 65 on the hill, meaning our hero can continue to progress up while on reload to get safely out of line of fire from the Progetto 65 down in the water.
Exactly, and that is good information too, right? He just knows, well, he basically did the key and he traded HP for info, if we want to joke about it, but he now knows where the Progetto is, so he also knows that the only 2 tanks that could be shooting him for trying to contest the 780 would be the STRV and possibly the Leopard that could have rotated back, but he decides to take his odds here. He hopes that no one is camping on the A-line in the forest here, and now the snapshot on the 780, it does not connect, but he does have another one available. Let's see if he can make that one count.
Of course, the 780 knows that he's in danger here as he's leaving. He knows he's possibly going to take a hit in the rear, and the allied 780 does pick it up, and the Sturv does seem to shoot from this sort of area here, meaning it's still in the same. Of course, we know the Progetto's probably moved underneath and tried to shoot our protagonist from this area, so we now know the Progetto's probably around here, the Sturv is probably around here, and the Leo was last spotted over on the other side of the map, so we'll see how this goes. Of course, our hero here is going to take the safe route down, and for those of you who do not know, instead of approaching the tree lines from this area, as most players do, you'll usually get spotted and farmed to shreds. So there's a safer route where you drop down and you make your way around like this, using the safety of this ridge here and this ridge here to work your way around to this sort of area, where you can get better shots into this entire section of the map, and also get some cheeky shots into the forest, as well as some spots on tanks that may try to rotate. And of course, right now, our Rhino hero is going to be looking for that Progetto that was shooting him, as well as the Sturv, and he's calling on his teammate's support here to try and spot the other side of the field, but he does get spotted, meaning someone's close by, and it's the Leo who just dunks a shot into the floor.
Yeah, that shot by the Leo, I mean, it didn't deal damage, but it was so valuable actually for our hero here, because now he has sort of up-to-date information on the STRV. He did not spot the Progetto. There is no way the Progetto could have sneaked by the stage 2, so now he knows he can actually take the position that he's taking. Those bushes here, they are very potent for spotting, and they do provide a lot of camouflage value, even towards heavy tanks.
Let's also not forget the fact that now that Leo's spotted there because he decided to fire that shot, it means that our medium friends at the back around here and around here can now move up freely without ever having to worry about getting spotted as easily. We now know that the majority of the enemy team are probably going to be pinned in this sort of area here, and now it's just a matter of closing in slowly and pinching their positions. And already the Progetto getting spotted takes 1 in the side of the turret. Our hero did get greedy there for a moment. He was about to go for the 2nd, but he decided it wasn't worth it, and now it's just a matter of waiting for your teammates to move around, find the side shots, and finish them off.
Also, nice little timing regarding his shot here, actually. He was waiting until the Progetto was behind trees, so he wouldn't get spotted for this shot here. So, good decision making, and now we see that the Leopard got spotted. The pattern gets eradicated in return, and now he needs to make it count. Just this 1500 alpha burst that we see from the Rinoceronte. He's not going to spot the STRV anytime soon, but then again, the STRV does get spotted here, but yeah, taking that Leopard out was crucial, because now it's only 1 enemy remaining, and that STRV TD, it can only look one way.
Of course. Now, the big thing about taking that Leo out is if the Leo was allowed to stay alive, he'd have crossfire on this position should anyone try to approach through this area. And taking him out now means that they can approach the Sturv unspotted, get real close, and not have to worry about bleeding HP to a Leo, which, you know, you have to give respect to the Leo's gun when it's firing at range from concealed positions. You do not want to be the guy in its line of fire.
There is no better mobile sniper in the game than the Leo one. And now the SRV notices that he's been outflanked, outgamed, outplayed, does use the repair kit here, and the second shot actually does not go into the track, but it's just what our hero wants here, and the SRV doesn't even manage to do damage. He just had 2 APCR shells remaining, that's why he only had 2 loaded here. But yeah, the SRV with the Leo behind him tries to go around the corner, but do not rage in the stage 2, says nope, we're not having any of that. And yeah, that is a game here, and crucial plays and very, very nice decision making by our hero in the Rinoceronte. And I think it's about time to have a look at the stats screen.
Indeed. Let's go take a look at the endgame stats of this match, shall we? And I believe we are in for a huge shocker. Now, our hero here, Wartrib from RGT in the Rinoceronte, actually fired around 20 shells, and I don't think he fired a single heat round.
APCR only this round, by
it was APCR only, yeah. And to be fair, he made 42,000 credits profit, Mr. Keyhand.
I mean, yeah, 42,000 credits profit, but I don't really think he did care a lot about it. It's more about the almost 9k damage here. 1300 basic XP, not that crazy, but the way he played was just so interesting to watch. Just, you know, the thinking man's heavy tank, where you have to pay attention at every single corner, every single decision you make. It could impact the later stages of the game, and he was just very methodical, very careful, tactically reassessing situations, relocating because of this. So all in all, a very, very good replay.
Indeed. Looking at the personal scores, he did get a mastery, an ace tanker for that. He got a Confederate high caliber and a tanker sniper in a Rhino. That is a feat indeed with the gun handling on that tank. He damaged 9 of the enemy vehicles, which is a huge amount. Definitely did his fair amount of carrying in this game. And again, like you said, it was all about his situational awareness and decision making. He realized the hill was losing. He backed off. He supported. He never dipped into the clip and used that third shell. He only ever fired 2, unless where necessary, for example, finishing off the Leo towards the end. He also waited for his teammates to support. He didn't just move in recklessly and hard-headed gameplay. He waited for his teammates to move up and support him so he wasn't caught out on his own at any given moment or time. And he used his situational awareness to make pretty much every perfect decision he could have made in this match, if you ask me.
All right, with those words, I think that wraps up this episode of Replay Roundup. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to hear more about possible future episodes. So have a wonderful day, and see you all next time.